just another stitch. For those that don't know me, my name is Connie, and today I'm going to show you how to do the Puff V stitch. And isn't this stitch gorgeous? I think it is such a beautiful stitch, and if you use the right yarn with this, just wow. I mean, beautiful, beautiful. I'm going to hold it up closer so y'all can see it better. And the yarn that I used on this swatch is the ice yarn. It's the Picasso. And with ice yarn, they don't actually have a colorway. Just in case any of y'all are curious what yarn I was using for that swatch. But I mean, this would be gorgeous on a scarf, a blanket, and I would really love to see it worked up on a shawl. I mean, just beautiful. So let's get started on today's tutorial. Okay, for the tutorial, I am using Big Twist number 4 weighted yarn, and I am using a 5mm crochet hook. So you want to start off with your slip knot. Just put your yarn like this, and then just feed this port through that loop. Easy peasy. Alright, put your crochet hook in. And for the chain is worked in multiples of 4 plus 2. So I'm going to be doing a chain of 18. So basically I start off with 16, which is a multiple of 4. 4, 8, 12, 16. Then I add 2 to that, which gives me 18. Okay, so let's get started on that chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Okay, so for row 1, we're going to work a single crochet into the 3rd chain from the hook. So here's the first chain right here. Here's your 2nd chain, and right there is the 3rd chain. That is where we're going to be working our single crochet into. Okay, so after we complete our single crochet, you want to chain 1. So we're going to chain 1. You're going to skip the next stitch. So we're skipping this stitch. I'm sorry, skip the next chain. So we're skipping this chain right here, and we're going to do a single crochet into that very next stitch. Okay? So remember, you skip 1 chain and work into the next stitch. Okay, so I just finished our single crochet. You're going to chain 1 again. We skip that next chain. So you skip that chain, and you work a single crochet into that next chain. So basically we're doing a repeat of chain 1, skip a chain, single crochet into that next chain. Okay, so we chain 1 again, skip that next stitch, work a single crochet into the next chain. I'm sorry, you skip 1 chain and work into the next chain. I keep wanting to call the chains stitches. Okay, again, chain 1, skip the next stitch, next chain, I'm doing it again, and then you work a single crochet into that next chain. Okay, so we're going to just keep continuing doing that. Chain 1, skip a chain, single crochet into the next chain. And you're going to do this, and there will be 1 chain left over. So we're going to meet up before you get to that last chain. Okay, you should have 1 chain left. And after doing your last single crochet stitch, you're going to go straight into that last chain and work a single crochet stitch. Okay, you have just completed the first row. So now we're going to get into row 2. Okay, we're now going to start row 2. So you want to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. So we're going to turn our work. And this row may be a little bit confusing. I'm going to show you where you need to put your crochet hook. We're going to be skipping the first 2 single crochets of this row. So we skip that one and this one here. And you see this chain space right here? This is where we're going to be working. So I'm going to repeat this to make sure everyone knows where to stick your crochet hook. We're skipping the first 2 single crochet stitches, and we're going to work right here, that chain space right next to that second single crochet stitch. All right, so we're going to be doing a puff stitch into that chain space, and don't worry, I'm going to walk you through how to do a puff stitch if you've never done one before. When it comes to puff stitches, there's a repeat to the stitch. And really, you can do however many repeats you want when you do a puff stitch. But most of the time, typically, most people do 4 or 5 repeats. In this tutorial, I will be doing 4 repeats. And I'm going to show you what I mean. Okay. So we're going to yarn over. We're going into that chain space right here. You're going to yarn over again. Pull through that chain space and pull up. So you have 3 loops on your crochet hook now. And what we just did, that's what you're going to keep repeating. The only difference is each repeat you're going to have more loops on your crochet hook. So you yarn over again. Go through that chain space, yarn over, pull through the chain space, and now you have 5 loops. So each time you do the repeat, it increases by 2. So you yarn over, go through that chain space, yarn over, pull through the chain space, and you now have 7 loops on the hook. Yarn over again, go through that chain space, yarn over, pull through the chain space, and now you have 9 chain spaces. I'm sorry, Now you have 9 loops on the crochet hook. Sorry about that. So each time you do the repeat, you start off with 3 loops the first time. Then it's 5 loops the second time. The third time it's 7 loops. And the final time it's 9 loops. So if you don't have 9 loops right now, you made a boo-boo. Alright, so we're going to yarn over once again. And we're pulling through all 9 of the loops. And sometimes you don't make it all the way through like what you saw me just do right now. That's okay. Just continue on. Continue on through that last one that we missed. Okay? Not a big deal. Okay. So, after you do a puff stitch, you want to do a chain. That helps secure it in place. Now we're going to be doing a second chain, which is what gives us the V-stitch part of this stitch. Alright, so that first puff you have 2 chains. So now we're going to be working another puff stitch right back into that same chain space. So you yarn over, go through the chain space, yarn over again, pull through the chain space. You got your 3 loops. Yarn over, go through the chain space, yarn over, pull through the chain space. Now you have your 5 loops. You yarn over again, go through the chain space, yarn over, pull through the chain space. Now we have 7 loops. Yarn over again, go through the chain space, yarn over, pull through, and now you have 9 loops. So you want to yarn over, go through all of the loops. Most of the time you get through all but one. Alright, so on this puff stitch we will I'm getting tongue-tied, sorry. We will be chaining 1 afterwards. So this is something that I want to make sure you understand. Okay, you have your 2 puff stitch in that chain space. After you do that first puff stitch right here, you do a chain 2 after you pull through all 9 loops. Then when you do that second puff stitch, there will only be 1 chain. Okay? So this is where it also has some confusion, because you got to know where to stick your crochet hook again. Okay, so you have your single crochet stitch here. You have your chain space here. And then you have another single crochet stitch here. So your next puff stitch will go into this chain space right here. You see where I'm at? It's right here. That's where we're going to work another puff stitch. Alright. So we yarn over again and go through that chain space. Yarn over, pull through the chain space. You have your 3 loops. You yarn over again, go through that same chain space, yarn over, pull through. So now we have 5 loops on the hook. Yarn over, go through that chain space, yarn over, and pull through. Now there's 7. Yarn over, go through that chain space, yarn over, pull through the chain space. So now we have our 9 loops. Yarn over, go through all 9 loops. Yay, I made it all the way through this time. Alright, so now you want to chain 2, 1 and 2. So now we're going to do another puff stitch in that same chain space. So you yarn over, go through the chain space, yarn over, pull through the chain space. You have your 3 loops. Yarn over, go through that chain space, yarn over, pull through the chain space. So now we have 5 loops. Yarn over again, go through that same chain space, yarn over, and pull through the chain space. So now we have 7. Yarn over again, go through that chain space, yarn over again, and pull through. So we're now at our 9 loops. So we want to yarn over and go through all 9 loops. And I did it again. I got all the way through. All right. So that is the second puff. So we're going to be chaining 1. And again, I want to repeat this for y'all so I make sure that y'all know this. The first puff, you chain 2 after. The second puff stitch is just 1 chain. Okay. So now I want to show you where you're going to be working this time. Okay. You have your first single crochet here, then you have your chain space, then you have your single crochet here. So we're going to be working into this chain space right here, right there. All right, so again, we're doing a puff stitch. So you yarn over and you go through that chain space like that, yarn over again, and pull through the chain space. So you have your 3 loops, yarn over again, go through the chain space, yarn over, and pull through the chain space. Now you have 5 loops. Let me reposition. Okay. Yarn over again. Go through that chain space again. Yarn over. Pull through the chain space. Now you have 7 loops. Yarn over. Pull through that chain space again. Yarn over. And pull through. Now we have our 9 loops. So we want to yarn over. Go through all. Let me make sure I still have my 9 loops. 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Okay. All right. So now we yarn over, and now we're going to go through all 9 loops. Okay. Now you do your chain 2, 1 and 2. Okay, so we're doing another puff stitch, yarn over, go through the chain space, yarn over, pull through the chain space. You have your 3 loops, yarn over again, go through the chain, oops. Okay, we're at 3 loops, sorry. Okay, so we yarn over, go through the chain space again, yarn over, pull through the chain space. So now you have 5 loops. Yarn over, go through the chain space, yarn over, pull through the chain space. So you have 7 loops. Sorry about that. Okay, yarn over, go through the chain space, yarn over, pull through the chain space. Now we have our 9 loops. So you want to yarn over and pull through all 9 loops. So now we have our second puff in the chain space. So we're going to chain 1. Okay. So I want to make sure y'all know where to work. skip the single crochet, you skip the chain space, you skip the next single crochet, and you're going to work right here, that last little space right here. Okay, you're going to yarn over, go through the chain space, yarn over, pull through the chain space. So you have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over again, go through the chain space, yarn over, pull through the chain space. Now you have 5 loops. Yarn over again, go through that chain space, yarn over, pull through. Now there's 7. Yarn over, go through the chain space, yarn over, pull through. Now we have 9. And now we're going to yarn over and go through all 9 loops. And now we're going to chain 2. Now we're doing another puff stitch into that chain space. And I'm kind of stretching out my chain spaces, but you can still, you know, this is still the very way you do the stitching, even though mine may not look all pretty afterwards. All right, so you yarn over, go through that chain space, yarn over, pull through the chain space. Now we have 3 loops. Yarn over, go through that chain space, yarn over, pull through the chain space. Now we have 5 loops. Yarn over, go through the chain space, yarn over, pull through the chain space. And now you have 7 loops. Yarn over, go through the chain space, yarn over, pull through. And now you're going to yarn over and go through all 9 loops. Okay, and you want to chain 1. Okay, so you have one final stitch, which is right here. You have this stitch right here. And what you want to do is you want to work a double crochet into that last final stitch. All right, so yarn over, go through the stitch, yarn over, pull through the base, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the final 2 loops. Okay, so we have now finished row 2. We are going to start row 3, and row 3 is the repeat row. From this point forward, you will be doing row 3. All right, so we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. Turn your work. All right, this row is a lot easier because we are going to be working into this chain space right here between the 2 puffs. And we'll also be working the same thing here. That's where we're going to be working. Everything we do on this row is the chain space between the 2 puffs. Right here and right here. Okay? And really, we're basically doing the same thing into that space that I just showed you. We're doing a puff stitch, chain 2, and then a puff stitch, chain 1. Okay? So we yarn over, go into that first space right here, yarn over, pull through, and you have 3 loops. Yarn over, go through the space, yarn over, pull through, and you have 5 loops. Yarn over, go through, yarn over, pull through. Now we're at 7 loops. Yarn over, go through the space, yarn over, pull through. So we now have our 9 loops. So you yarn over, and we're going through all of these loops. Okay, so now you want to chain 2, 1, 2. So we're working into that same space between the previous row's puff stitches. Okay, you yarn over, go through the space, yarn over, pull through the space. So you yarn over, go through the space, yarn over, go through. Okay, we're at 5, yarn over, go through the space, yarn over, pull through. 7, yarn over, go through the space, yarn over, pull through. And 9. Okay, so you want to yarn over and go through all of your loops. Okay, now you want to chain 2. 1, I'm sorry, you're chaining 1, sorry. It's a chain 1, not chain 2. All right. So now you work through the first spot. Okay. So this is where we're going next. You see your puff stitch here, your next puff stitch. You're going to go in between, right here. All right, so you yarn over, go through the space, yarn over, pull through the space. 3, yarn over, go through the space, yarn over, pull through. 5, yarn over, through the space, yarn over, pull through. 7, yarn over, through the space, yarn over, pull through. And 9. So you yarn over, and we're going through all 9 loops. And chain 2. 1, 2. Another puff stitch, yarn over, go through that same chain space, yarn over, pull through. 3, yarn over, go through the space, yarn over. 5, yarn over, through the space, yarn over, pull through. 7, yarn over, through the space, yarn over, pull through. And 9. So yarn over, go through all 9 of your loops and chain 1. Okay. So again, I want to make sure you know where to stick that hook, because I find that is like, if you don't know where to stick that hook, how can you do the stitch? So I always try to, on my tutorial, make sure you know where that hook is going. All right, so you see how you have your other set of 2 puff stitches? We're working between right there. Okay, so yarn over, go through the space, yarn over, pull through. 3 loops, yarn over, go through the space, yarn over, pull through. 5, yarn over, through the space, yarn over, pull through. 7, yarn over, through the space, yarn over, pull through. 9. So now we want to go through all the loops. Okay, now you want to chain 2, 1 and 2. Right, yarn over again through the chain space, put up, yarn over and pull through. So you have 3, yarn over through the space. Oops. Okay, we're back at 3. Let me reposition. Sometimes that yarn will kind of jump on you. So yarn over through the space, yarn over, pull through. So now we have 5, yarn over through the space, yarn over, pull through. 7, yarn over through the space, yarn over, pull through. So now we have our 9. So you yarn over, go through all of your loops, and chain 1. Okay, now we're going to work into that last puff space. Okay, so you see that last set of puff stitches right here. That's where you're going. Yarn over, go through the space, yarn over, pull through the space. 3 loops, yarn over, through the space, yarn over, pull through. 5, yarn over, through the space, yarn over, pull through. 7, yarn over, through the space, yarn over, pull through. And 9. Now yarn over and go through all 9 loops and chain 2. All right, now we're going to yarn over, go through that space again, yarn over, pull through. You got 3 loops, yarn over, through the space, yarn over, pull through. Now we have 5, yarn over, through the space, yarn over, pull through. Now you have 7, yarn over, through the space, yarn over, pull through. Now you have your 9. So you want to yarn over, go through all 9 loops. All right, now we're going to chain 1, and in this very last chain space, see right here. Oops, sorry, right here. We're going to do a double crochet right here. So yarn over, go through the chain space, yarn over, pull through the base, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, and pull through. All right, so that's what the 3rd row looks like, and you just keep repeating row 3. And that's all there is to doing the puff V-stitch. So I hope y'all enjoyed today's tutorial. And if y'all have any questions about this stitch, need any help, send me an email. My email's in the description box of this tutorial. It's just another stitch 2020@gmail.com. So I hope y'all are all having a fabulous yarny day. Be the light, and bye.